Well, this is exciting, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty members, fellow graduates, and distinguished guests. Today is a day of immense gratitude and joy as I receive this incredible honorary award from this esteemed gold standard institution. And I must admit, when I got the call, I was incredibly shocked. But here I am, standing before you today, filled with excitement. Receiving this honour has enabled me some reflection about my journey. And I can't help but chuckle at the memories of the early days, a little bit like jumping into the deep end of a swimming pool without knowing how to swim, both exhilarating and exciting at the same time. I remember starting our new project with nothing but a shoestring budget, a lofty dream, and let me tell you, it was anything but glamorous. In the beginning, Memory Matters was just me, my sister-in-law Laura, a desk, and a plastic plant, which was my pride and joy and the only decoration we could afford. One thing I quickly learned on this entrepreneurial roller coaster is the art of pitching my ideas to investors. On one such occasion, in the early days, I was invited to pitch an idea to investors at the very esteemed Coutts Bank in London. I got to London early. I found the bank and settled into a quiet corner of a very unexciting McDonald's across the road. I practiced my pitch again and again, and the time came to go and present myself at the bank. The bank looked more like a swanky hotel to me. It had a pond in the middle with koi carp in it, a great big glass ceiling, and a fridge full of mini bottles of champagne for the customers. I was tempted, but I refrained. I was called in, a very nervous me, standing in front of a room full of very serious-faced financiers. I stumbled over my words like I'd forgotten actually how to speak English. I became the expert at the awkward pause. I turned it into a strategic mood to build suspense. As I left, I thought I'd done terribly. I couldn't speak, I'd stumbled, I thought it was awful. But they seemed to like it. We got the funding, and that was one of our biggest days. But it wasn't all awkward pitches and plastic plants. There are loads of heartwarming moments as well along the way. I get the pleasure of meeting incredible people. Fellow social entrepreneurs, passionate volunteers, students, and individuals whose lives we can impact positively. But my journey is never as difficult as those with dementia and their carers. And of course, no journey is complete without a few epic failures. I like to call them learning opportunities. Like the time in the early days when we decided to stand outside Asda in Bodmin in a little bit of a PR stunt to get people to really know who Memory Matters were. It was freezing cold, and nobody really wanted to learn how to memorise their shopping list. That afternoon, we received a call from a radio station asking us where we were and how we were going to teach people to remember things better. By then, cold and miserable, we were halfway home. But through the ups and downs, the failures and the successes, I realised that being an entrepreneur isn't really about business at all. It's about creating a community. It's about finding joy in the small victories, celebrating every step forward, and embracing the inevitable detours with a sense of humour. In 2010, Memory Matters was born, and I look back now at how we ran a group in a community centre in the middle of nowhere and just had loads of fun being with people with dementia on their terms. Back then, we just looked after 8 people. Fast forward 13 years, and we now run groups across Plymouth and Cornwall, accessed by 5,500 people a year. We host countless other fantastic organisations that support loneliness and isolation in our city. We run the first public social enterprise cafe, where 100% of those profits go towards providing support for people with dementia. That cafe sees 60,000 people through its doors every year. We teach all over the UK, and we support over 700 families a year with free dementia advice and support. We've even developed an app. And if you'd have told me this when I had qualified as a nurse 30 years ago this month, I would never have believed you. You see, the world actually is your oyster. You really do make your own future. And you can follow your heart, and you can make decisions based on what drives you. Don't be afraid to be unconventional. Don't be afraid to take that unconventional path. It can work. I'm a living testament to the power of chasing dreams and daring to make a difference and stepping into the unknown. To my fellow graduates, I cannot wait to see the incredible ventures that you will create, the stories that you will share, the lives you will touch, and the positive impact that you will make. Thank you to my incredible family who have supported me every single step of the way. And to my husband, those Friday night chats over a glass of wine, they worked. Thanks to my team for believing in my vision and that actually those little steps really can affect change. And Marjon University, thank you for this extraordinary honour and for allowing me to infuse my story into this special day. And to you, my fellow graduates, I raise my imaginary plastic plant in celebration of each and every one of you for the incredible journey that lies ahead. Congratulations, class of 2023.